If you were part of a union of working class people who were allowed to build a better life in the middle class in America, you listen to us.
If you didn't know, this is Dropkick Murphys frontman and bassist Ken Casey, and he is about to take a blowtorch to Donald Trump, his entire fan base, and the system that props him up.
Because if you're out there buying those hats that these swindlers are selling at that fair, I'm sorry kids, I know there's kids here, then you're part of the problem, and I'll tell you why. Because you're being duped by the greatest swindler in the history of the world. You're being duped by a bunch of grifters and billionaires who don't give a about you or your family.
Casey could not be more right here. Trump's entire life has been nothing but one long grift that preys on the most vulnerable people in our country and is only getting worse now that he's too broke to cover his legal fees. But Casey isn't done speaking truth to the billionaires controlling our lives yet.
They care about their tax breaks and the money they can put in their pocket.
That's the game of politics in America. Bow down to the wealthy ruling class that's actually running the country and serve their class interests instead of the people who voted you in.
If you consider yourself a patriot and you're spouting off that election denying I will fight you outside if you want to. Wake the up! We're working class people. These people are the rich, the billionaires, and they don't give a Thank you for listening.
This is exactly the type of passion and energy we need from public figures if we ever want to enact some real change and progress in the country, especially when class interests supersede political affiliations.
We want history of supporting organized labor and eventually anyway, thanks for having our back. We got yours. And well, why don't we start with the appropriately named song called The Workers Song.
Over St. Patrick's Day weekend, they performed in Boston for local labor unions and reaffirmed their lifelong support of fighting for the working class and standing in solidarity with various unions across the country.
How you doing, everybody? We're the Dropkick Murphys, sending our love, solidarity, and support out to all you teachers on the picket line. Thank you for all you do.
They collaborated with the Newton, Massachusetts Teachers Association to show their solidarity with their striking public school teachers earlier this year, performing Worker Song just like they did recently in Boston. The teachers are now back at work, securing a higher starting salary for new teachers, 60 paid parental leave days for new parents, and higher annual cost of living adjustments. They, of course, also showed solidarity with the striking UAW auto workers on the picket line while their strike was going on last fall, again performing their Worker Song for those sacrificing everything to fight for the dignity their labor deserves. This is what real solidarity looks like and why Dropkick Murphys deserve as much credit as they do. They back their words up with actions rather than spewing fraudulent, empty words like Republicans and Dems say after they worked together for so long to erode the rights of the American worker.
Donald Trump is a scab. Donald Trump is a billionaire, and that's who he represents. If Donald Trump ever worked in an auto plant, he wouldn't be a UAW member. He'd be a company man trying to squeeze the American worker. Donald Trump stands against everything we stand for as a union, as a society. When you go back to our core issues, wages, retirement, health care, and our time, that's what this election's about. This election's about who will stand up with us and who will stand in our way.
UAW President Shawn Fain agrees with the Dropkick Murphys.
Could have considered Donald Trump. You did not. Why not?
Well, I mean, if you look at just the facts and the body of work of both candidates and, both of them in their own words, nowhere in history has Donald Trump ever stood for the American worker. He stands against pretty much everything that we stand for.
So
in 2008, 2009, the economic recession, Donald Trump blamed the workers for what was wrong with these companies.
You know, in 2015, he talked about doing a rotation of good-paying jobs in the Midwest, somewhere where they'd pay less and have people begging for their jobs back at lower wages. You know, in 19, also in 15, when Volkswagen workers voted to organize, he put an NLRB in place that killed the organizing, the contract for those workers. You know, in 19, when he was president, he didn't support the strike. He told workers at Lordstown Assembly Plant, which was closing, don't sell your houses, and then he did nothing to support them. You know, versus President Biden, who in 2023, when a plant was going to close in Belvedere, Illinois for Stellantis, he stood with those workers. He helped us save a community and helped bring not one plant, but 2 plants back to life. And he stood with our members on the picket line in our fight for economic justice.
For everything that Joe Biden has gotten wrong, and trust us, he's gotten a lot wrong during his presidency, it's indisputable that Biden has been one of our most pro-labor presidents, even though the bar is set ridiculously low. It is undeniable that his tough stance on supporting unions has resonated with working class voters and may be the only thing that gives him a chance in the upcoming election against that other guy. If there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you, the viewer, would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. Support the channel. All of our content is free. It's the least you could do. Become a paid channel member and or go to tyt.com/join to support the network as a whole. Thank you so much. Have a great day.